require periods of darkness, and what are the energetics of wealth. How to maintain this clear wealth path even though you might be going up and down emotionally. So I'm so glad that you're here. If you're watching, please let me know you're here. Like to see where you're watching from, or leave me an emoji so I know you're there. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. So that way I know that you've been participating. So we're talking about why quantum leaps require periods of darkness and how that relates to the energetics of wealth. So when you think about the energy of your business, it is not necessarily always a smooth flow that goes up, right? Every entrepreneur, no matter how successful, experiences these waves of up and down. And everybody always wants to have the up part. And nobody normally talks about what happens when you're in a down part. What do you do? Energetically, we create by putting the charge out from ourselves into the universe. So whatever your resonance is, that's what's putting the energy out. But what happens when you're on the lower part of your emotional wave? When you're feeling pressure, when you're feeling friction, where you're feeling frustrated, when something doesn't work, where you're just too exhausted, tired, disinterested. Every entrepreneur gets to those places occasionally. And some of us more often than others, depending on the type of the wave you're experiencing. Some people have a really long wave like that, so they have overall steady periods of everything going great, and then period when they kind of a little low energy for a while, maybe a couple of weeks at a time. But some people have these waves much more active. It could be within the same week. You will have beginning of the wave very excited and ready to go, and your energy is all wrapped up, and then everything goes down and you don't get the result that you wanted from whatever you were creating, and suddenly you're feeling bad. Suddenly you're feeling like, oh, that's it, I just want to give up, it's not working. When we do that, we miscreate. We are meant to create from our charge outwards into the universe, right? So what are you putting out when your energy is down, right? You're putting out actually counter field to your intention. So let's say if your intention is to bring in certain level of clients and you're in a lower part of the wave, if your actual energy broadcast matches the lower part of the wave, you will not be attracting the types of clients you want. If you are looking to generate certain income during the year, like we're almost at the end of the year, so everybody is doing some event or something to kind of build up the end of the year. Again, if the energy is, well, I didn't get what I wanted, or I'm too tired, or it's not working right away, and the wave starts to go down, if you go down with that wave in your broadcast, you are actually sabotaging the very thing that you want to create. This is why the wealth energetics are so important. It is how you distribute your broadcast point within you, from which you then bringing the energy out into the world. That is essential in order to actually maintain your creation consistently. Right? Everybody talks about consistency. Like, yes, it's a thing we all get. We need to be consistent. But how do you be consistent if you're emotionally going up and down? Right? And then you feel pressure and obligation and kind of feeling stuck or discouraged or depressed. All those emotional charges are normal, but we're not meant to create from them. That's where the difference is. So for the ones of you who don't know me or meeting me here for the first time, I'm Eugenia Oganova. I am Wealth Energetics Business and Marketing Coach. So what I do is I help people avoid years of pressure and forcing yourself into ineffective, inefficient strategies that feel painful to you, and instead align you to your soul design, to how you actually meant to do it. That's based on your soul contract, based on your soul purpose for this lifetime, so that you feel like you're actually living your life joyfully and your business is maintained happily, that it's feels like you're not sacrificing your self-care or your energy in order to have your business, but your business is feeding you because you're living your purpose and you're aligned to your soul design. So that's what I do. Now, today we are talking about why quantum leaps require periods of darkness and the wealth energetics of that. So by periods of darkness, I mean emotional energy when the wave goes down. You all know those waves, right? The higher part, that's like, I'm so excited, I'm so happy, things are awesome, I'm hopeful, it's happening, I'm in flow, wow, this is easy, and then we go down. And now I feel sad, depressed, it's not happening the way I want to give up, I don't even like it, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe I'm doing everything wrong, maybe I shouldn't even be doing it. So all these lower waves, this is the normal emotional processing period. But if we don't know that this is normal, we start to freak out and think that somehow we are doing everything wrong. We must be scramble and figure it out right away, or else everything falls apart. So the solution is actually connecting to that flow of abundance and noticing where your baseline is, and recognizing that these periods of down part of your emotional wave are simply contraction versus expansion. Universe has a pulse. It's the energy that expands and contracts, expands and contracts. And everything in the universe, all the stars, all the planets, all the beings on the planets, including us, nature, everything experiences that pulsing. We just experience it differently depending on our design because each person is unique. So what that means is you have your own natural rhythm of expansion and contraction. And if you've never been taught about it and never looked into it, you might assume that when you're in a contraction, something is wrong. And that adds emotional energy that is negative to that very thing. So now, instead of just neutral contraction, which is actually an integration period for you to be able to then go for the next leap, instead, that becomes self-collapse, and then the energy goes down. And then you start to feel bad. Now, feeling bad is a consequence of an incorrect meaning that we give to the contraction phase. And the period of darkness, that's kind of like the sun during the day and then it goes away at night. So our darkness doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be bad. It could be just you learning about that natural rhythm for yourself and learning what to do when you're in the darker, more compressed, contracted periods of you. This is very, very important to learn how to ride this wave correctly. This is the wealth energetics. When we don't ride this wave correctly, we allow our emotions to ride the wave. And that's actually incorrect. So there are specific ways of how you can handle the lower part of the wave if you know how to keep your baseline high. That means your actual frequency maintains itself at the higher general note. And there's specific techniques that I teach us to how to do that. So then you can weather all these ups and downs without sabotaging your business. Imagine you're having a great day and you're going out there, you're marketing, you're putting offers out, you're posting, you're commenting, you're showing up for your business, people are scheduling conversations with you, something is happening. And then when you go on a down wave, the normal, traditionally kind of habitual response of most people is to start panicking, something is wrong, I don't feel good, I feel bad, I don't like it. And when we do that, we stop the external showing up, right? Our energy says, okay, I can't do this, this is too much, it's not working anyway, so let's just stop. And when we do that, we sabotage the previous expansion component. So think of it like you were building this momentum, right? And everything was building up and building up and building up. And then when the wave went down, if you did not go into a maintenance phase, but instead you went down with the wave, you actually broke the momentum. So that means next time the wave is going to go up, it's going to have to start from zero, from scratch. From the very, very beginning, you're going to have to build it up again because you collapsed it at the lower end. So it is essential to maintain this line, this baseline of your energy broadcast at the frequency that allows you to expand in a period of expansion and then maintain your business in a periods of your personal contraction. So what happens when we contract down if we're not making it negative? So in a balanced way. In a balanced way, that is the period of integration. So anytime that you create something new, you expand to the new level, you create this quantum leap, like the big thing when you suddenly feel like, oh my God, I popped through the ceiling. That's it. Like a whole next level is happening. I'm so excited. The bigger the leap, the bigger is gonna be the gap afterwards. That does not have to be, though, an emotional crash down. It could be that you maintain the energy so that you don't sabotage your business, even though the energy field wants to go into contraction and you are actually meant to allow it to do so in order to integrate the type of expansion that you have just experienced. And you can see what happens when you don't integrate, right? Let's say you studied something, but then you never processed it, you never really memorized it or integrate it into your whatever it is you're doing. You will probably forget, right? It wouldn't be sticking in your consciousness because it kind of happened and then you moved on to the next studying something. So the same thing in business. When we go through personal expansion and the quantum leaps in our conscious understanding of ourselves, when we open our capacity, that's another quantum level, capacity, how much wealth we can hold. Like let's say you're raising your prices, like let's say you're creating a higher end program, or maybe you are just overall going to expand your financial container to be able to hold more. Every time we do that, we are creating more room for something new to come in. But that something new has to be integrated in order for us to benefit by it. When it's not integrated, it becomes more of a spark and then we move on. It does not stick. And when something doesn't stick, that is a lot of effort to be put into something that did not result in a change. Any kind of a transformation, any change requires effort. And effort doesn't have to be hard. It could be ease and flow, but it's still internally an effort because you have to stay conscious to be able to do it. So let's say you're expanding in how you're seeing yourself in your business, or maybe you're expanding how you interact with your clients, or maybe you're going to the next level of your business and you're past your 6-figure mark and you're going to multiple 6 figures or even 7-figure mark. All those different steps, whatever your biggest vision is, every time you go there, you are integrating something new. And that something new requires a period of darkness, of contraction, in order to actually be something that is now part of you. Otherwise, it becomes a momentary experience and then we kind of move away from it. So we're not really benefiting by the expansion. That's how, if you ever had those periods when something amazing happened and it was just totally awesome, maybe it was the most amazing client, or maybe you taught a workshop and it was absolutely glorious. Maybe you had some sort of an interview that created this huge response and it was just wow. And then afterwards it kind of all fizzled away and you sort of like, wow, was this a fluke? Like, why did it just happen once and then it doesn't happen? That, if you had that, put a 1 in the comments so I know that this is something that resonates. But a lot of people experience something like that, when one time something amazing happened and then we can't hold it. It disappears. The reason for that is because when the next period of darkness came, that person didn't allow themselves to actually contract, to integrate. So instead, they just kept wanting to keep going with this. And the problem with that is that the momentum fizzled away because it wasn't integrated, it was not grounded in you. Universe always gives us amazing things. This is abundant universe, and quantum field and us are part of each other. There is no separation, which means we can create anything that we desire with ease. But in order to do so, we have to make it applicable. It has to be something that actually applies onto your life. And when it does not, in other words, it's not integrated, then the universe cannot give you more. So this is another thing I hear a lot from my clients, where this something new happens and it's amazing, and then they want more and more and more and more, and then stuff starts kind of breaking down, and they start to get depressed or frustrated or upset or angry or whatever. Even if they have clients, they have money, like everything is still going on, but internally they're not feeling good. It's kind of like driving while you have your parking brake on, and there's this grinding and weird kind of a driving experience that's not harmonious. The reason for that is because we require that inner time to contract. And most entrepreneurs are terrified to do so because they feel like that means I'm giving up, or that means I'm not paying attention to my business, and so on. Well, in Wealth Energetics, there are specific techniques as to how you can allow yourself those periods of compression in order to contract and internally actually integrate this amazing thing that just happened, so that you can create more amazing things. So Wealth Energetics is what I teach, and in the next year, in the beginning of the year, I am hosting in my group a challenge. It's a 5-day free challenge that is called Soul Aligned Wealth. So that will give you a lot of information and practical tools on this very topic. So it's a 5 days to break through your biggest business bottlenecks and create a clear path to the 7-figure soul-aligned business without compromising your energy or your natural flow. So I definitely invite you to join my challenge, where we can dive into all these components of the energetics. It's a free 5-day interactive experience. On the beginning, we will start with essentially unlearning the mindset that keeps you in the 6-figure mark, so that you can go to a different energetics of what it means to actually create a business that is capable of expanding beyond whatever you're generating now, without you compromising your sanity and with less work. So, because nobody wants to work harder, we want to work smarter. We want to work more effectively and efficiently, and do so in the correct way that matches us, right? Not just do more of what we're already doing, because if you're seeing certain number of clients, or there's certain hours in a day and you already maxed it out, you can't expand, no matter how awesome you are. So let's say you're amazing, you are totally an expert, you know what you're doing, and now you want to go to the next level, and you're like, well, I already built up everything. I don't have any more room. The reason for that is because the techniques you're using in your mindset and in your energetics are based on this box of sort of 6 figures. Like, you can get to 6 figures, a little bit past that, maybe 120, 150,000 by pushing really hard. But then after that, what do you do then? Well, that's what we're going to look at in the challenge. Like, how do you position yourself correctly to be able to go further? We will also have a 3-step process for you to get this insane clarity as to what you need to focus on to get you to the next level. Because we tend to focus on so many different things, and all those things is not necessarily what you need. You probably need 1 or 2 things that are specific for you. So figuring out what they are and what you need to focus on to get to the next level of your soul-aligned results when you have that ease and flow is another thing we're going to talk about in my challenge. We're also going to look about the shifts that you can make, and some of them are really simple techniques that I can teach you to help you avoid getting stuck, so that you create what you want without falling into these lower loops sort of your emotions, which is really, really important in order for you to maintain your business and expand it to the next level. We will also look at my conscious future method. This is how I work with my paid clients and help them create the future that they desire by pulling out from the quantum field what they want. So normally I share that only with my paid clients, but I'm going to teach components of that within my challenge. So definitely make sure that you sign up. It's a Soul Aligned Wealth Challenge, and it's 5 days. It will be in January, but come into my group. This is where I'm hosting it. Wealth Energetics for Women Entrepreneurs. So I am so happy that you are here listening to me. I would love to see you in my group. So make sure that you click to join my group, and that way you will know when I announce the actual challenge. You will have the link in there because it's only for the people in my group. All right. My love to you.